bit of correction there. I did the research. As at 1983, Nigeria's budget was actually $20.5 billion. Then the budget was read on the 31st December 1983, on the 30th of December, but on the next day, 31st December, the military struck and Buhari came in as a Major General then. And of course, he reduced the budget to $15 billion. Of course, it's a paradox and it's a tragedy that we're where we are today. We have a lot of great ideas in ANRP, and I'll be urging everybody watching me right now, everywhere you see the computer, on voting day, kindly append your thumbprint on it, because we are the party of the future, and the future is now. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, the candidate of the Abundant Nigeria Renewal Party there, Mr. Tope Fashola. Next is the presidential candidate of the Alliance for New Nigeria, Mr. Fela Durotoye. You are a motivational speaker, businessman, background in finance and all of that. Is that all it will take to steer Nigeria forward?
Well, let me start by saying good evening to every one of you, and thank you to my co-debaters. My name is Fela Durotoye, and I am the presidential candidate for the Alliance for New Nigeria Party, ANN. That's the party with the logo of the lion in the 2019 general elections. I'm 47 years old, and like the moderator said, I am a business management consultant, a leadership expert, and most importantly, a nation builder, which means that I am one person who has accepted responsibility, like many other people, especially even those on this stage, and those of you that are listening to me, have accepted responsibility for the well-being of our country, not just for our own personal well-being. But we believe that our generation can be able to liberate this nation, this blessed nation, from the clutches of those who have ruled us and held us back for so long, more than 50 years. But then we are also committing our time, our energy to do something to deliver the future of our nation. Let me be very clear. Nigeria is a blessed nation. We are blessed with all the resources that any nation can dream of. Mineral resources, natural resources, human resources. But we have not yet become a great nation where things work for everyone, where what is accessible to the rich is also available to the poor. Good quality transport, good quality education, food for all, housing for all, power for all. And I, under the leadership of the ANN and leading this great country, will ensure that we are able to deliver a nation that works for everyone. A nation where everyone has jobs and opportunities, where businesses can prosper and succeed because it is a safe environment. We will do these great things, and I would show you in the next few moments how we plan to go about this as the Alliance for New Nigeria Party. It is time for Nigeria to be released from the shackles of these rulers that has held us bound. God bless you.
All right, thank you very much. The candidate of the Alliance for New Nigeria, Fela Durotoye. Next is the presidential candidate of the Action Democratic Party, Engineer Yabagi Yusuf Sani. Are you the one that will unshackle Nigeria?
Certainly so. Good evening, great Nigerians. I am running for this office because I believe the knowledge which I have is required, because the only reason why we are where we are today, battling with poverty, killings, and hunger, is because we have given power to those who have no knowledge of how to use that power. And I am from a background, by way of experience, that tells me that I need to step forward, because we have a gift of God in this country. Of all the sectors of the economy, there's one that stands out, which gives us 80% of the revenue that we utilize to grow this economy. And I have a unique knowledge of how that sector works, and I know that if you have a company and you have somebody who has knowledge of how 80% of the revenue is managed, I think you will not take another person than that person. I have worked in NNPC in terms of advising them. I've worked advising the federal government at the highest level. I have schemes that are put in place, which was to check the theft of crude oil and gas and the nefarious activities happening at our terminals, so that going forward, Nigeria will begin to know how much we are making from crude oil, how much we are producing, and how much should accrue to us, so that Nigeria can be great. Because Nigeria, like we know, is a promise of greatness. We have human capital. The mere size of this country is an asset. The location of this country is an asset. Somebody like me, given the opportunity to run this country, believe you me, in 100 days of my government, Nigerians would not believe that this is the same country where we are battling with poverty, killings, and restlessness. So that is why I'm coming forward to be given the opportunity to run the affairs of this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Candidate of the Action Democratic Party, Engineer Yabagi Yusuf Sani. Now to my extreme right, to the presidential candidate of African Action Congress, AAC, Mr. Moyele Sowore. Well, you've been carrying on the campaign of take it back from who to what? Can you tell us in 2 minutes?
Thank you very much. And my name is Omoyele Sowore. I will turn 48 years old on February 16, 2019, exactly the day of the presidential election. Yes.
Will that be your birthday present?
That's, I hope Nigerians will give me that present. Don't buy anything, just vote for me. And let me tell you a little story about Nigeria. Between 1879 and 1900, a company little known as the Royal Niger Company was hired by the British government to set up a colony known as Nigeria. They completed their work in 1914, uniting the Southern Protectorate with the Northern Protectorate. Nigeria was set up as a business, a supermarket for the British colonial masters. And in 1960, we were supposed to transform into a nation. We never had that opportunity because for 58 years now, some clueless, corrupt, and wicked political jackals in this country took over the country and started running it as a business in which now Nigerians have become refugees in their land. Our young people cannot get employment. Our children are no longer safe in their school. Our farmers are not safe on their farmlands. Even our soldiers are not safe on their front lines. And today, we have a country in which people are sad, they are broken, and they are despondent. What I'm telling you is just a short story. But for us to transform this country from a business to a nation, you need a young, vibrant, intellectually sound, courageous young man. And I say young, not exactly young, but youthful, who can take on special interests in this country. Have made it impossible for you and I to have a country we can call our own. And if you're looking for someone, you should look for a fighter when you're at war. This country is at war with its rulers, not leaders.
Right,
And
thank you very much. Thank you very much. Your time is up, please.
Thank you.
The presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, the AAC, Mr. Moyele Sowore. Now that you have all heard from the candidates, those who are seeking your votes come February 16, let's take a short breather while you down a little sip of water, and then we will get on with it very, very shortly. Just a 30-second break. Thank you.
TVC News wins Best TV Station of the Year at the 2018 Nigeria Media Merit Awards.
The television station of the year is TV Continental.
That we're getting this award means that there's so much that is reposed in us to make sure that we keep up the tempo and we do better than what we've done.
Words, facts, opinion is the orchestra of these men who do not sway to the synthetic rhythm of opinion. The debater screams words trapped in tempos that run too fast to play back just as the instruments fall in and out of tune. Climbing a crescendo, men take a stand, testing and pulling, slamming the fact of each other, in and out. After the crescendo comes the climax, all notes quietly resting as the debates reach inference. Join me, Mark Otabo, as I conduct the symphony of debates on The Big Issue.
Yeah, what's happening? My name is Fowles, the bad guy. Only takes the power of one to get the much needed change that we're looking for. All you need to do is RSVP. That's it. Register to vote. Select who you want. Vote and protect your vote. Thank you so much. My name is Fowles, the bad guy. Kiss it.
Rice, beans, dodo. Nobody teach you yesterday be that.
And the day before. Because
you don't want to try other options. Semo, pounded yam, egusi, ogbono. Try other options. Did it work you?
Hi.
You don't carry your manners, come for me. Try.
Can I have a mala? Okay. That your bokoto, is it soft this time? It's soft. Okay, add it. And then, do you have a restriction?
Sorry. I want to change my order.
No change your order. Chop the one where you don't need. Chop since where you see remain as you did so. I beg, madam, give am pounded yam.
Shut up, I can talk. Let me talk. Pounded yam. Then catfish. Then Bakotov. Then
These elections, there are more presidential candidates than the two you know. Be informed. Know your options.
Welcome back. This is the 2019 presidential debates. This could actually pass for the final before the very election that comes up February 16. Well, you have heard from all our 6 presidential candidates, and they have in 2 minutes been able to give you exactly what they stand for and what they think the problem with Nigeria is, and, well, very briefly, how they think they can solve it. But let's get to the very details of this. And I would like to begin with the issue of job creation. You would, of course, gentlemen, understand that employment is a key indicator of how any economy is doing, and Nigeria is no exception. Of course, some experts like yourselves have actually said that it has been economic growth in the last decade or so, but there has not been a requisite transformation of the economic structure, if you do get my point. So what are your plans for a sustainable economic growth? Do you have any plans? Give us that in 2 minutes. Let me begin with the candidate of the Young Progressive Party, Professor Kingsley Moghalu.
The reason why our country has remained...
Please feel free to raise the mic if it's, so that we can hear you.
The reason why our country has remained poor and our economy has always underperformed, despite the fact that we have so many brilliant economists in this country, is simple. Nigeria has no clearly defined economic philosophy. Without an economic philosophy, you cannot have a strong economic vision. Without an economic vision, you cannot have effective economic policy. Without economic policy, you cannot create the institutional and market frameworks to give people jobs. That is what has been lacking. My government, as the next president of Nigeria, will fix this problem. To fix it, you need to understand 2 things. You need to understand economic philosophy. You need to understand political economy. Is Nigeria a capitalist nation? If so, what are the conditions that make a capitalist country succeed economically and make capitalism work for the man on the street? Those conditions are 3. Number 1, property rights. Number 2, innovation. Number 3, capital. We will make sure that property rights in this country are fully respected. The first thing to do is to move for the abolition of the Land Use Act as a constitutional amendment. Number 2, I will move Nigeria's economy, my government will move Nigeria's economy from oil dependency to an innovation economy. That is what drives the economy of every other country that is making progress. Number 3, we will make access to finance easy to create businesses that will create jobs. Small and medium enterprises are the drivers of job creation. Thank you.
Hey, thank you very much for putting that very succinctly. All right, so, well, so many skills actually phasing out in another decade or so. A lot of the courses that people go to university to study would not be relevant anymore to the economy. There is artificial intelligence right around the corner. Mr.